I should cut your hair. Just once.
I think I would trust you.
Just once. Yeah. Just to see what you like. If you like it. I also would cut it dry since you have textured hair to like.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not a hairstylist. Listen, but my sister went to cosmetology school and she taught me how to cut my own hair. And she also taught me how to cut Gabe's hair. And I really like cutting hair. So I've also bleached my own hair and dyed my own hair many times.
I can never.
Bleaching, I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't do my own hair again because it's scary. But
yeah, to be fair, I bleached my hair 3 times in my life. I think that's it. Because light hair doesn't fit my skin complexion. I don't think.
No.
Like the lightest I would go is like a chocolate brown. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Yeah. You know, dark hair looks good on you. Dark hair looks really good on you. But I should cut your hair. We were talking about because you recently got a haircut, and I need to get I need to cut my hair soon. But like I have like professional like hair cutting shears, and like I have like the sectioning clips and like a whole ass thing. Like I have the thing. The like the little robe thing that they put on you, the bib thing. To like,
which side note,
I have a whole
setup. My hairstylist did that to me this time.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
To be fair, she just moved studios, so maybe she didn't have it out.
Maybe she like misplaced it, forgot it.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to make a big deal.
Like there wasn't even a mirror up on the wall. Yeah, she like just moved in there.
Oh wow.
And to be fair, I really wanted my hair cut, so I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I don't care, just like cut my hair.
Yeah. 100%.
But she did really good, and
yeah,
I really like it. So
yeah,
that.
But yeah. Anyways, welcome to She Knows It with
Alex
and Izzie. Today we're going to be talking about romanticizing your life. We are currently learning how to romanticize our life. And
I can romanticize aspects of it, I think. But
yeah,
like romanticizing it fully.
Yeah.
No.
I can romanticize good chunks. And I've kind of recently been on a kick of romanticizing pretty much all of my life, which has been really nice. As you know, I've been in a little bit of a Delulu land. And I think that's been partially because I've been romanticizing my life, which honestly, being Delulu is the Solulu. I stand by that you need a little bit of delusion, healthy delusion, to just get through the day sometimes. And that's okay. It's okay to need to have a little bit of extra, like it's hard energy. Mm-hmm. It's okay to have a little bit of like, how hard can it be? I'm so lucky. Everything works out for me type of energy. It's okay sometimes if you need that. Because, okay, this is coming from an anxious girly who does not have this type of energy naturally. It's so freeing to be a little Delulu sometimes. And I think romanticizing your life, it's a healthy form of Delulu. Because all it's doing is making you feel better about how you live. That's it. Mm-hmm. And making you treat yourself better because you feel better about you as a person. Yeah. I've made a little bullet point. Like a couple bullet points. And I'm going to list them off and then we can elaborate and you can tell me your takes on them. Okay? And your advice on doing the things. First of all, is the obvious romanticization of your life, which is romanticizing the little things. Making the little things in your life mean more and feel better. The vibes, right? Such as, but not limited to, making coffee in the morning. Get yourself a cute little cup. Make it cute. Make your favorite little coffee, or if you don't drink coffee, tea, or if you don't drink tea, fucking, I don't know, water. Just make it cute.
Water, energy drink.
Yeah.
Whatever you drink in the morning.
Also, cooking for yourself, cooking breakfast, making things for yourself. Make your surroundings feel nice, and it'll be more fun to do things. Also, like, you can do this by like lighting a candle. It's easy as lighting a candle and having some ambiance, not having the big light on, but having a lamp on. Yep. Having sunlight come through the window if it's like the morning.
If you're scared of fire, you can just get a little fake candle. If you can't see what I'm doing, I have a fake candle.
Fake candles for the win, honestly.
Or if you have cats.
Yeah, I'm scared of cats messing with my candles, so I always put them
my cat does not have a
high shelf. Yeah. I'm
Mhm.
scared they're going to light their tails on fire. But they also have tried to bat at candles before, and so I'm just not, I just don't mess with that.
Yeah.
But I put them on high shelves that they can't get to. Or I put
I
them
can't reach
in my
high shelves.
eyesight
So.
constantly, you
Mhm.
know? But
See,
like
my
you can do
cat can reach
that.
high shelves. I can't.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do that through like lighting candles or like playing music. Music is a great way to instantly make life more fun. Put a soundtrack to your
Oh yeah.
life, you know?
Yeah.
That can also be like smells, like if you have like an incense you like or a candle you like or a perfume you like or a
Mhm.
whatever. Having like that on you will also be nice, and just like making the vibes match what you want. And it doesn't have, you don't have to be, you don't have to buy things for this if you can't buy things to make yourself like these things more. It's as
Mhm.
easy as, in my opinion, it's as easy as um like imagining your life is already the way you want it to be and already
Yeah.
romanticized. That's what romanticizing these little things helps with. Or like getting ready in the morning, like make the process of doing your skincare, doing your makeup, even if you don't have a lot of skincare and if you don't have a lot of makeup, like make what you do have feel fun.
Or just like spending time like brushing your hair, styling a little
Yeah,
bit, you
taking
know?
care of yourself.
Mhm.
Romanticize it. Make it fun. Make it feel more like a ritual rather than a chore.
Yeah.
That's like a big thing. Make
Like
things
your
feel
beauty
more
guru.
like you get to do them, not that you have to do them.
Yeah. Pretend like you're a beauty guru doing your makeup in the morning,
That's
explaining it to people.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Another thing that's helped me romanticize my life is having a nice schedule. Because I really like
Mhm.
schedules and I love stationery and I love like all this. And having a nice schedule and like having my days planned out personally, first of all, it helps me manage my ADHD, but
Yeah.
also helps me feel like, oh, I'm that bitch. Like I have a schedule.
Mhm.
Like, oh, okay. Like I can do this. Like look how much time I have. Like I can do this. It
Mhm.
helps me be able to romanticize the little things and not be rushing. It like I
Yeah.
give myself more than enough time to do everything, so that way I feel more like chill about it. I feel a little bit more like I
Mhm.
can take the time to like be like, oh yeah, my life is a slice of life anime. You know, like
Mhm.
how cute of me cracking this little egg into my frying pan and like cooking it up and like putting little stuff on it and like I put it on my plate and like I eat it and imagining it's like a cinematic, beautiful cinematography scene in an
Yeah.
anime.
Yeah.
Period. Which is my next point. Pretend you're in a slice of life anime.
Yeah.
You are you are the main character in your own story. Everyone is their own main
More
character.
drama. Yeah.
I wouldn't say
Your
drama.
favorite kind of show.
I would say that keeping it slice of life is probably the best
Slice
way
of
to
life.
go.
Yeah. Or like
Just
a romance.
because, or romance, like whatever.
Yeah.
There can
That's
be
what I meant by
there
like
can
romance drama.
there can be subgenres. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like, but I feel like you should always let your life be boring and make that fun. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? Don't be like, oh, my life's getting boring. I need some lore. It's like,
Mm.
you're going to be stressed, bestie. You know, like, you're going to be stressed if you
I
make
don't know.
drama.
I think it
So, like,
depends. I think it depends also like with interactions. Like how much interaction you have with people.
mm-hmm,
Because you can, I'll say this, like romanticize those interactions
mm-hmm,
in your
yeah,
head. 'Cause sometimes the same mundane, especially if it's like work, can be a little boring.
yeah. Oh my God, this next
Or
interaction
like,
could be a meet
yeah.
cute. Oh my God, this next interaction could be me being like amazing and like this could unlock the next part of my life. Who knows? You know?
Hmm.
Who knows what the day will bring?
Yeah.
That's a fun way to think about it. And having like the ability to take a step back and like see your life from a third party perspective sometimes can be really healing too. Cuz like you if you were your own friend, you would not be nearly as critical of yourself as you are. Or like if you were your own, or if you were watching a show where you were the main character, you wouldn't be like, you fucking dumb idiot, you're so boring. It's like, no, like you would think like, oh, that's cute, they live such a cute little life, you know, like I
Like, be
think
the
I
main
like
character
this
of your
little
own
life.
story. Yeah. Like, be the main character of your own story, I think, is kind of my broad romanticization of
Yeah.
everything. So yeah, I would say the romanticization of my life is kind of a little different because if I romanticize it to be too, I think, like slice of lifey, when things don't go slice of lifey, it breaks my immersion and then I kind of spiral out of it. So that's why I
I
kind of
guess
like,
slice of life still has drama in my eyes. Drama is like, oh, you're dating five different, like Pretty Little Liars in my head. Does that make sense? I
see,
think
it's,
your definition and my definition are
yeah,
different.
it's like it's a little different, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say like a cute little mix of it all
Yeah.
is kind of what I do. But like overarching, I keep myself as the main character
Yeah.
because in my eyes, most of the main characters of all the shows that I watch always have a happy ending, regardless if they have to like go
That's
through
why I
piles of
say
shit.
slice of life. That
Yeah.
in my, because that's my definition, is it always goes back to being chill. It always goes back to a
Mhm.
happy ending. That's, I think that's
Yeah.
why I specified slice of life, but I get what you're saying of like it
Mhm.
can dip into a drama, it can dip into a romance, it can dip into like different genres occasionally, and
Yeah,
that's okay. Cuz life is unexpected, you know.
for
So
sure.
so is a really good slice of life, you know? A slice of life
Mm.
where, oh my god, this crazy thing is happening because it's the season finale. You know, like sometimes there's crazy things that happen because life's unexpected, but at the end of the day, you know it'll all work out. I think that's kind of what I mean by that. Is like
Yeah.
it will
Okay.
get
I
back
can see that. Yeah.
to it will get back to being a slice of life eventually,
Hmm.
you know. But
Yeah.
yeah. My next one is like vision boards, like having a plan for what you want to
Mm.
do with your life can help you like romanticize your future so that you romanticize the journey.
Mm.
Because I think a lot of the time when I used to make like vision boards, I would only romanticize the future, and I'd be like, my future, my present sucks. Like I can't wait to get to the future. Like the future's gonna be so much
Mm.
better. But you need to romanticize the journey too, the step by step to get to where you want to be. Because if you just romanticize you being there, it's only ever gonna be like a what if. It's never gonna be like a, oh, that's my future. That's literally what's going to happen because I'm taking the
Yeah.
steps to move towards it, you know?
Makes sense.
But yeah, that's how I feel about it, at least, is like vision boards can help like illuminate the path because
Mm.
you think, okay, what could be the next step for someone? Like take yourself out of the
And
equation a
also,
little bit.
yeah, it also gets you thinking
Yeah,
on
exactly.
like the goals you want. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
then even if you're not constantly thinking about it, it at least puts the idea in your brain
yeah,
of what you want, like kind of how to get there.
especially in our age range, because I feel like there's a lot of pressure to like know what you want to do with the rest of your life and like exactly who you're
Yeah.
going to be and like what your goals are, blah blah blah. It's like sometimes it's nice to just like take a step back and just
Hmm.
let yourself think on what you want to do right now. Like, what is your next step you feel like you want to take? It doesn't have to
Hmm.
be what you're going to do for the rest of your life. It does not have to be
Yeah.
that one choice that's like the pivotal choice for you forever. It can just be, okay, what is the next step I want to take right now?
Hmm.
And you put that on there and it can help you figure out what little itty bitty baby steps you had to take to get to that next
Hmm.
step. Um,
Yeah.
because it can get really overwhelming
For
being in
sure.
this space
For
of
sure.
like, okay, what am I doing? Like, I'm stagnant. It's like, no, everyone is going through it at the same time. Not everyone, but a lot of people go through it at the same time of like
Yeah.
feeling unsure about where to go next or feeling like they either have too many ideas of what to do next. They can't zone in. And so I think it's also good for that of like narrowing down what to do just next. It doesn't have to be the
Yeah.
only thing you do, but just the next thing you do.
I
Um
agree.
cuz it's scary not having an idea where to go. And especially because, like,
Especially
go ahead.
if you go to college. Yeah, if
Mm-hmm.
you go to college and you're picking a degree, a lot of people think once you pick that degree, especially if it's granted, if it is a specialized degree, like if you're going for like neurosurgery, you're most likely going to be a neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
Um, but if you go for just like regular bachelor's, like computer science, psychology, history, a lot of people think that once you choose that, you're locked in that forever.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times you can go and get different jobs that aren't even in the
You
field
can
that
also
you studied.
change what you're studying at a lot of
Hmm.
colleges. You can
Midway
transfer your
through.
points to be
Yeah.
studying something else. Like, I know a lot of people
Yep.
that they took like 3 years in one thing, and then their last year they changed to something else that they could switch over to, and they graduated with an entirely different degree than what they originally started studying for. And if you are like in the spot where maybe you're not going to college, but like you're still in that space of you're trying to learn the skills in order to get the job you want, those
Yeah.
skills are still going to be good to know, regardless if you do that specific thing you're learning them for right now. There's so
Yep.
many different ways you can apply different skills your entire life. Life is incredibly long and filled with so many different things that there's plenty of time to use those skills later on in an
Yeah.
unexpected way, possibly as well. Like, you could be learning like coding for like being like a hacker for the fucking government. I don't know, like something like that. But then you
Hmm.
could use that to do something like maybe you get into robotics later on. Like, who knows? Like, maybe you become super passionate about game development. You learn it for that. Like, it's like there's so many different ways to use different skills, even if you don't see it in the moment. Like even if it's as simple as like writing papers for college or writing papers for high school, those writing skills will be used later on in some way, shape, or form. If
Yeah.
you know, eventually in your life you'll probably use something. It's important to remember that like you're not wasting time, you're
Mm.
just on the journey, and
Yeah.
enjoy the journey. It's okay to
Yeah.
not be at the destination yet.
That's like the whole thing, like for me about romanticizing it is also a way to keep me in the moment. I think
Yeah.
then, because I'm a very future thinker, I tend to not really think about the present. I always tend to think future me. So romanticizing my life is a good way to keep me thinking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it keeps me more active. Like, oh, okay, like what am I gonna do tomorrow? Like, let me plan out that, right? Because I'm not the kind of, I know it's bad because I should be. I'm not the kind of person who plans out my whole week. I plan out like 2 days at max because if I have everything too planned out, then I feel trapped or like too boxed in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it honestly depends on like how your brain
Oh
responds to
yeah.
different things. Um, but I will say at least having some sort of now plan, like current plan, and then having like as you said, like a vision board of like future things that you want is a great way to romanticize your life and keep it, I guess, on a path.
Yeah.
Because like as I think it was the episode that we recorded for this, but it was there's can be too much of one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you focus
Balance.
too much on the present, you never go to the future. But if you focus
Yeah.
too much on the future, you miss a lot of things in the present.
Yeah.
So it's kind of finding what's the balance for you on both of those sides of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I know I can't focus too much on the present. Otherwise, I forget all that I'm doing in the current.
Yeah. And I think that
Yeah.
that's what happens a lot for me, but like the opposite. I can't think of too much about the future because then I start beating myself up for not being there already. So like
Mm.
it definitely is like a balance thing. Like, you got to find that middle ground of like focusing
Yeah,
on what you're doing right now to get to the future, but also not dwelling on the future and beating yourself up for not already being there.
for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And the aspect that you said about like feeling overwhelmed by the schedule being like the whole week, I
Hmm.
will say like there's some mornings I wake up and I'm like, I cannot do what I scheduled today. And I use the schedule more as an outline to make sure I have enough time to do everything and less
Mm-hmm.
of a pressured, like, also that I take time off. That's another part of the schedule, is making sure I do take time off. So sometimes I'll be like, ooh, I cannot do what I planned on doing today. I'm like not in the right mental space for it. And
Mm.
I'm fortunate enough that I do work from home and I can do this. Like I see the privilege there, but I then move around. Okay, well, I was gonna take Saturday off, I'll take this day off instead, and I'll move what I had to do today, I'll move it over one, and I'll just like scoot
Mm.
everything to the next day. And obviously you don't want to get in the habit of just continually scooting things over, or else you're never gonna get things done. But
Yeah.
it's okay to like listen to your mental health and like be like,
Mhm.
okay, if I did this today, it would turn out worse than if I did it tomorrow when I feel better. And then spending
Yeah.
the day filling your cup and like getting ready for the next day can be important sometimes. And especially when like I'm a workaholic, I'm really bad at like stopping work and not continuing to work or taking days off and stuff like that. And so I think that's one of the reasons why the schedule's been really nice for me, is because of my brain working that
Mhm.
way and not being able to separate life and work.
Yeah.
I i really struggle to see the schedule in my head and feel like I have time to do the thing I'm working on, because
Mhm.
sometimes I'll be working for so long that I'll be like, if I don't do this right now, I'll never get it done and I'll never finish it and it'll never go out, where that drains me really quickly and makes me burn out incredibly quickly. And so me being able to be like, no, 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 you actually have a couple hours time slot here that you could easily do that there instead of now. That helps
Yeah.
me like make sure that the circus of the million things I like to do and like do for a living, that they're able to be done in the time period I need them to be done. But I'm never cutting things close. If I need to take a week off, I'm again fortunate enough to be able to do that, but I don't want to have to do that. I want to be able to keep a good schedule week to week and not have to take weeks off because I feel like shit.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good, like you were saying, to listen to what your brain responds to the best, whether that
Mhm.
be a schedule for today, no schedule at all, or scheduling the next month entirely. Like, whatever works
Mhm.
best for you. Like, I tried to schedule the whole month when I first started scheduling. Does not work well for me. I then get really overwhelmed because I look at my entire month being filled with things to the brim, and then I never have time for anyone because I feel the need to fill every slot with something.
Mhm.
And it's much better for me personally to do week to week and keep it flexible. If we want to move something, that's okay. If I'm in bed and I'm like, I need another hour's sleep, I'm exhausted, I wasn't able to fall asleep easily last night, I'll move my work day back an hour and I'll start work an hour later. And I have learned to listen to how my brain works, especially as someone who does not have a neurotypical brain. It's it's easy to be like, I'm the problem because I'm not able to use schedules like everyone else. But in all actuality, it's not that I'm the problem. It's that, I think we said this in the last episode, trying to fit into a cookie cutter piece that you don't fit into. It's like, it's okay to not fit into the mold of what you're supposed to quote unquote fit into, and to
Mhm.
figure out what works just best for you. And I think that's a big, to round this all back out to romanticizing your life, the topic.
Mhm.
That's a big part of romanticizing your life is different from everyone else's.
Yeah.
Like, and that's good. It should be different. And you should take steps to making your life what you want it to be, of course, but like
Mhm.
that, what you want it to be, aspiration should not be based off of other people's lives. It should be based on what you want internally.
Yeah.
That should be your
Because
goal.
everyone's goals are different as well.
Exactly.
And everybody wants, no, gonna, there are similarities. Like, everybody wants to be financially stable. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
goal, everybody. But everybody's, I guess, mini goals to get there are different.
Yeah.
So it's just finding, again, how you're going to develop into that
Mm-hmm.
and how you're going to think on how to get there, right?
Yeah.
So, romanticizing life, it's like you can, like listen to podcasts like you're probably doing now and getting ideas, but never taking something fully at face value. I
Yeah.
think it's like kind of take the advice and be like, okay, and then sit on it and then make it your own.
Don't.
Like figure out what aspects make your brain be like, oh yeah, I really want that. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try that, right? But then also don't be disappointed if it doesn't work out
Mm-hmm.
for you. Because I think that's something for me. It's like I would watch who is it? I think it's My Fam.
I love her. Yeah.
Yeah. I love her content, but she did for a while like scheduling, like stationary writing content. And that I would be like, oh, I really want that for me, but that doesn't work for my brain. And
Mm-hmm.
I would be so sad because I wanted that because again, I saw that really worked for her.
Mm-hmm.
And it just did not work for my brain because again, for me, if I see it too much, if it's like in my face too much, I get overwhelmed and I shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I'm a very reactive person to too much on my plate, and the way I react is I completely shut down and I don't do anything. So that kind of romanticization doesn't work. But the other romanticization that she does is the main character syndrome, which again can be great. But it can also be really bad and it can go into pick me territory. So it's
Balance.
good to just balance it out.
Balance.
But that romanticization really works for me because it's keeping me and my goals in the forefront of what I want, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
So I think again, like balance, honestly, balance is just the word for the week.
Honestly.
Balance and then like not fitting into the cookie cutter, I think
Yeah.
is the two things. But
100%.
yeah, I don't know. I would say like I agree with like, pretty much all your points
Mm-hmm.
on romanticization.
Yeah.
Um, but I would just say like whatever works for you, keep it working for you.
Yeah.
You can get ideas from other people, but don't fully discard how it works for you to try out how it works for somebody else.
Yeah.
Because again, everybody's brains are different. Your brain's different, my brain's different.
Yeah.
We
Go
just do it differently.
internal when figuring out what
Hmm.
works best for you. Go internal to what works best for how you process information and you
Yeah.
feel about things. And listening to I recently learned about, I don't remember what it's called, but like there's like the logic, there's the emotion, and then there's
Hmm.
like the third party in
Hmm.
your brain, in your internal monologue. I forget what it's called, but like it has a word in I don't remember what language, but it was like another language that like it derived from. Um, but it basically means like literally it means like something else. It means like the other thing in
Yeah.
the other language, because it's like you have your logic side where it's like
Hmm.
logically this is the best thing to do. You have your emotion
Yeah.
side where it's like but I feel this way about it. And then you have your third party that sometimes chimes in, and some people will interpret it as the universe talking to them, God talking to them, their higher selves talking to them. Like there's like we don't know what it is. Like it's like this weird third party, or like some people think it's like the what connects all human beings as like a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
But I don't even know what I would say it is. But it's this third voice that sometimes chimes in important moments, or um, when you're most desperate, that
Hmm.
like wakes you up a little bit and takes you out of the emotion and out of the logic and takes you into like this something else, this like not grounded in this version of yourself. And like it's like hoodoo voodoo spiritual,
Yeah.
but I did find it really fascinating because it's like a scientific like thing that people are studying, like therapists are studying to
Hmm.
try to figure out the psychology behind it and like why it happens.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of explanation for it. Like there's like it's very up to interpretation. And a lot of people also refer to it as like the balance between everything, experience, logic, emotion, and possibly the spiritual side of it as well. It's the balance between everything. And it can be like when you're in a bad situation and your gut says like, you need to leave. That's that something else. It's like, yes, you're being logical, but you're also emotional. You're also feeding your emotion in that, and also using your experience. And also it's like this other voice in some way, shape, or form. And I think that like there's a lot of people that like monks that will try to get closer to that something else, and they'll try to disconnect from logic and emotion and just connect to just that other feeling. And I'm like probably butchering all of this like in my explanation. I just found it very fascinating and thought it like kind of like it made sense with like this, like, you need to listen to yourself, you need to listen to like your inner knowing. That's kind of how I interpret that, is like it's your inner knowing. It's your like inner intuition almost, of like when you're looking at a calendar filled with a million things and you're like, this doesn't work for me. Or you are trying to do a job that you hate for a living. It's like, this doesn't work for me. Or you're trying to do X, Y, like anything that you could be doing. This isn't working for me. It's like telling you objectively, this is not working and you need to change, you know? It's that like wake up moment. And some people never experience that voice. Some people experience it a lot. Some people are right in the middle. Like it's not a universal experience, but it also is something that has happened so frequently with people that it is being studied. And there's like people that try to like practice to experience it more, like the monks that try to connect specifically to that voice. And a lot of people that meditate, they try to like connect with that voice when they're meditating. And this is more of like a, like, I'm not going to get into more on that. I just wanted to put that out there for those who are like,
if it resonates with
if
you,
it resonates with you,
like,
feel free to take it.
Sounds like something.
But if you're like, I don't align with that, you do not have to take any of that. But I just learned about this and I think it's really cool. And honestly, that voice, from my experience of what I think is that voice, it comes into play a lot with my mental health. When I get too deep in a depressive episode or a anxiety attack or a panic attack, sometimes a switch just flips and it's like, you need to change what you're doing right now. It's not working. It's almost like a parental voice in my head of like, this is not working. You need to, like, this is what you need to do to fix it. It sometimes tells me, it's like, okay, let me help you. Like, like, let me get you out of the situation. Here's some steps to do it. And I think that, like, again, in my personal experience, through romanticizing my life and like being more in touch with like how I can make my life feel better to me specifically, it's kind of made me feel like this in between, this balanced feeling of like, I'm being logical, but I'm also letting my emotions have space to be heard. And I don't know if, like, again, I don't know this voice, what it is, like this third party thing, but that's how I've learned to use it in the romanticization of my life, is just like listening to myself, like really listening to my inner dialogues and knowing what is me, what is outside information being put in my head, what is my logic, what is my emotion, and then what is this like third voice, you know? I think that's just really cool. But to fade back into a little bit more grounded, not spiritual side of stuff, I think that like branching off of vision boards, Pinterest is underrated. Just make a Pinterest board.
I love Pinterest.
Just make a Pinterest board. Like sometimes it's as simple as making a Pinterest board about the life you want, or incorporating the life you want with things that remind you of your current life so that they feel more attainable, so that it feels more like something you can do.
Or if you like stationery, honestly, like vision boards don't have to be pictures. It can also just be like ideas. Like write a list of ideas. Like,
exactly.
I want a car.
Yeah. I want a
Like,
car.
I want this car.
I want
Like, I want
to
this
have a job
apartment.
I like.
Yeah. It's like, I want to get this degree, or I want to do this in my life. I want to
Hmm.
travel here, you know? So it doesn't have to be just one idea, because vision boards to me is just a collection of ideas
Yeah,
and a collection of
yeah.
wants.
It's a
So,
collection of vibe, you
yeah,
know?
it's just so your brain can piece it all together. It's kind of just like a roadmap,
Hmm.
like The Sims 4, like expansion pack romance. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Sims 4 basically releases like a little like roadmap thing. It's just like, oh, within the next 6 months, you're going to be getting this many things. It's just like, it's literally a roadmap of, we're going to take this stop first, and then this stop, and
Yeah.
this stop. So that could also be a vision board, you know, and you can do that for your life, job, school, work,
Hmm.
anything. Um, but again, it's listening to what you want and what your brain
Hmm.
wants. Because
Listen to
again,
your voice.
everybody's goals are different,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
everybody's ideas on how to get those goals, even if they're the same, are going to be different.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What's one thing that you do that's like your biggest like romanticization? That could be like, oh, I pretend like I'm a beauty guru, or like, you know, I pretend like I am studying in like a cute little like Parisian cafe. You
I'd
know, like what's
probably
like one thing that you do?
I'd probably say there okay, so there's two things that pop into my mind. The first is just my morning routine as a whole. Having a
Okay.
routine in the morning helps me feel like I can take on the day more and helps me romanticize the little things because I have time to. So like, oh, I get up, I pet my cats, I get my coffee. You know, I well before that I brush my teeth, I wash my face. You know, like I do all the little things, and I make them feel like more important. And
Mm-hmm.
I a big thing for me is I hate being rushed in the mornings. I need time to wake up. And
Yeah.
that's why I thought I wasn't a morning person for so long, but I do like being awake in the mornings. It's just I don't want to be like on right away. I don't want to be like a
Yeah.
functioning
Makes
human
sense.
being the moment I open my eyes. I need like an hour of like
Slow
wake
progression of
up,
waking.
make
Yeah.
myself breakfast, you know, all this jazz. So I'd probably say that, but then like a more specific thing is like I don't know why, but walking places. Walking to places makes me romanticize getting out of the house. Like I'm walking
Okay.
distance from a little plaza with some like they do a farmers market sometimes there and stuff. And like that is just like so like it's so romantic in my mind. It's so
Mm-hmm.
romanticized in my mind that like I just feel like when I went to the beach, it's easy to romanticize your life and vacations, obviously. But like
Like,
when I went to the beach, I loved walking to the cafe and then walking to the pool and then walking to the beach. Like I like loved that routine.
mm-hmm.
I don't know, walking places, just walking around. Like I walk a lot. There's like nature trails somewhat close-ish to where I live. And so like I go on nature trails sometimes and like that is an easy way for me to like get in the vibe of romanticizing what I'm doing. So, yeah, what about you?
I would definitely say, again, college student, I would say studying. I
Mm.
make it very, what's like the word? Like very like ambiance when I'm studying. So I
Aesthetic.
have like, yeah, so okay, Animal Crossing, coffee house music. It's very specific. But that's like for like the majority of my studying. I put that on, get my fake candles that aren't real, the battery powered. Um, and then I always study at night, so it's like dark and very like moody. Um, and that's something I do because it's very like I'm in a different world. And if I'm
Mm-hmm.
writing a paper that's like a themed paper, right? Because I mean, I'm a history student, so I have a lot of medieval Renaissance history. So a lot of times I'm listening to like POV enemies to lover playlist on YouTube, which if you've ever been down that road, um, how's life?
Mm-hmm.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I would say that, and then my inner monologue when I'm in group settings, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
a socially anxious person.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm in group settings, I become very hyper anxious. And it also stems from like being very much not in the spotlight, but a lot of attention on me because with dance and everything. So I'd become anxious when people look at me. And in public, you know, people look at other people because you're just glancing around, but I'm hyper aware of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I romanticize in my head, like, oh yeah, I'm a movie star. And then I feel better.
Yeah.
And I do that, like grocery shopping, like the world's my runway kind of thing.
That's a
And
really good
that
way to do it.
yeah, and that exudes more confidence. And so people think that, oh, you're like the most confident person in the world. And you're just
Yeah.
like, no, the world's my runway in my head.
Yeah. Honestly, a big tip. This is like the biggest tip, honestly, I could give during all this, and it was jogged by what you just said. I do this a lot, and I didn't even realize I did it. I pretend like I'm already where I want to be, like when I'm out in public, so that I'm more confident. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I am a famous voice actor, YouTuber, singer, like whatever. You know, like whatever I'm in the mood for that day. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm a famous author. You know, like whatever I want to be that day, I just pretend in my mind I'm a little Delulu. And I just pretend, and it really does make me feel much more confident.
I will say,
also the imposter syndrome too.
The biggest one I think of is Everyone's in Love with Me, which is so bad.
Same. No, same. I'm like pretending like everyone's flirting with me just because it really does help. It really does help.
Especially if you're anxious because you're romanticizing every interaction and you have that confidence to not, I guess, react with your anxiety and just kind of be able to react with confidence instead.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I would say that no, that has gone to me into some little bit of trouble because I'm like, oh, everyone's in love with me, and so I tend to respond to people as if they're in love with me, which can come off a little flirty or cocky. It's a mix. But now obviously I am dating my boyfriend, so that's a little bit more only geared towards him for the flirty side. And I tend to now go more of like the world's like my runway instead of everyone's in love with me.
I mean,
and so I just become more like confident.
I still do everyone's in love with me, but I think it's just like I'm out with my boyfriend. I'm out with my fiance. Like it's a little like different. It's like oh yeah, you want me so bad, but like he's the only one that gets me. You know, like that that vibe, I guess.
Listen, I'm with my boyfriend. It's either I'm like really confident, like the really like mature, confident one, or it's like the really ditzy girlfriend and the boyfriend's having to like control everywhere you go because you just can't cross the street by yourself, which makes sense. But yeah, I would say those are my two biggest romanticizations I do in my life. Because again, my morning routines are so non-existent. And that's because my mornings are so different every day. It's like it's almost impossible for me to keep up.
See, my mornings used to be different every day, and that stressed me out personally.
It doesn't stress me out. And I think that's also different because I'm almost constantly tired. So I tend to sleep or nap a bit more in the mornings. Or if I have too much of a routine in the morning, then I get tired right after that routine. Because like,
I think it's the odd part of my ADHD. I think it's the tism for me that I really like schedule. It's honestly an inner turmoil because I love schedule so much, but I also crave chaos. So like I have to have some sort of schedule, or I go crazy, but at the same time, if I am too rigid with my schedule, I then start to go crazy. So it's like I have to balance.
I like my schedule from college because they forced me into it, so I don't have to think about it. It's like forced on me, which I don't mind. I like it. That could be taken really different contexts, but I would say people making schedules for me, or like an appointment, or like my classes, like where professors making schedules, I don't mind those and I function well off of those. But set schedules that I make for myself,
it's hard
those
to
are the
keep
ones
a schedule that you make it yourself. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. Or if there's like a reward at the end of it, like money. Like if there's like money, I'm like, oh yeah, I can keep to that schedule.
Yeah.
So like a job, easy. School, easy. But if it's just a mundane task, in my schedule that I have to get done, it's like, oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
we can do that later.
Yeah, the
Not a
procrastination
now
starts to set in.
thing. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas if I'm just like, if I just see it and be like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go do that, right?
Yeah.
So I guess my brain works a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if it's more my idea and not planned, like just, oh, a spur of the moment idea, then I
Mm-hmm.
tend to do it more.
You do
Mm-hmm.
like a spur of the moment. You are a spur of the moment girly way
I'm a
more
little
than I
spur of
am.
the moment. Yeah.
Here. I'm trying to find a good balance between like rigid schedules and spur of the moment, and I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting closer, which is nice because like
Yeah.
there is definitely like an appeal to both for me, and
Yeah.
so my brain wants to either pick like one extreme or the other extreme. Like either I have like an
Mm-hmm.
incredibly rigid schedule and like nothing breaks that, or I have no schedule and I'm just making it up as I go and flying by the seat of my pants. I love
Yeah.
both of those extremes, but they are unsustainable long term for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why the like flexible schedule seems to be working the best for me so far. Again,
Mm-hmm.
I'm only a couple weeks in to doing this.
Oh
So
my.
like I'm
Like
trying.
so. But the expression you used
What?
from the seat of my pants, I don't know
What?
why you laugh so much.
What? Have you heard that phrase before?
No, I think it's the
Okay.
visual my
Oh,
brain's giving me right now.
literally
That's like,
flying by the seat of my pants. Okay, I get that.
anyways,
Hmm.
continue. Mhm.
No, that was great. That was great.
Continue.
I, yeah, no.
We're just girlies.
Yeah,
What do
we're
you
just
mean?
girlies.
We're just girlies.
We're just girlies. But yeah, the last thing I had on my list was just make your life an aesthetic. Like, make your life as it
Yeah.
exists already an aesthetic. Like, oh, I'm gonna be cottagecore. I'm gonna be this. No, no, no. You are
Hmm.
Alex aesthetic. I am
Yeah.
Izzy aesthetic.
Yeah.
And that can honestly really, it,
And then whatever that
yeah,
is like build on it, you know?
yeah.
Like you
Be
can take
you, and then like
inspiration.
make the best version of you slowly. You know?
Yeah. Like you can take inspiration, but you have to remember, like, especially I think like especially with trends. A lot of trends nowadays, especially like fashion trends.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Y2K, right? Okay, you can take elements of that, but make it your own because that trend's gonna die,
Oh yeah. Have your own personal style within
right?
every style you do.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
find out what works. Like, I am a mix of like 4 different aesthetics, and
Same.
that's my aesthetic. That's
I'm
what makes
like,
me unique.
I'm like,
A piece of everything.
like alt hippie goth, which has been my recent vibe. And
Mhm.
then in winter, dark academia, because it's cold enough to wear dark academia clothing.
Winter, I definitely go to like, I don't know why, colder months, I tend to go more cute.
You love a Sabrina
So
Carpenter
like,
winter, a
yeah,
sweet girl
I live like
Christmas, as we like to call
the
it.
like, or like, like what was it? I think it's No Tears Left to Cry, the Ariana Grande music
Mm-hmm.
video, where it's like the clouds and it's kind of like cold-ish looking. That's kind of what it is. Now, spring, I definitely tend to lean towards more of the like coastal free vibe with like those.
Yeah.
And then summer, it's whatever I can survive in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tend to be more, um, I guess like polished would be that
Yeah.
because it's like minimal things,
Yeah.
minimal amount of clothing, while still being covered and modest and all that.
I don't know the word modest. What is she?
See, I know the word modest because people's eyes, you can feel them, and sometimes
I
it's a
love
little
them.
much. It's a little much sometimes, but
Honestly,
again,
I like
romanticizing it.
I here's the thing. My body is not an inherently sexual thing. And that's like something that cuz of dance I struggle
Mhm.
to wrap my mind around. And so like I love pissing people off by treating my body just by like wearing the things that make me feel pretty.
Mhm.
And like that
I
doesn't
think
mean
it's
being
because,
revealing. It just means like not
yeah,
caring about like, oh yeah, I have boobs. You can see a fucking cleavage crack.
Mhm. I think it was different because I developed a womanly figure at like the age of 8 that I kind of have more of that awareness and like, oh, I'm like a bit more hesitant to do that
I get you.
because
Well,
it's kind of like, I guess it's for me, it makes me more uncomfortable
I was very uncomfortable for a
because,
long time
yeah,
about it. This is a recent thing for me. Is
yeah.
like being like
Sometimes, like
whatever.
those like rare moments, I'm like, oh, I don't care. Like, I'll wear it. But then other times, I'm like, eh.
To be
I
fair,
don't
it
want people
also
staring
depends
at
on
my
where I'm going.
like, mm.
You know, like if
Like the grocery store, I dress bummy, low key.
see, I dress cute because I go to Trader Joe's.
Oh,
I like
see,
a little outing.
I go to different
I
places, like different
hate
grocery
grocery
stores.
stores. I hate with a burning
Mhm.
passion grocery shopping,
If
except
we
at
go to
Trader
a bougie
Joe's.
grocery store, I wear cute stuff. If we're going like HEB, I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
Kroger, eh. Walmart, eh. You know, so it just depends.
Yeah.
If it's like a bougie like Trader Joe's or like Market Street or like
Like a Whole
they
Foods.
really like yeah, like
Yeah.
the like fancier ones, then like, I can dress cute.
Air one.
But did you see? I did not know. Like, I was like, oh, those prices, like, okay, the smoothies are like $32, right? For like a small meat. Like regular grass-fed beef is like
I know,
$100.
it's insane. Air one is a
I'm like,
scam.
who who thinks that meat can get better? Like, okay, grass-fed, yeah, grass-fed's
Well,
like,
here's the thing. You can go to
$45 for
Costco.
like
Listen,
full.
Costco's the only other place I go besides Trader Joe's because my
Yeah.
parents have a Costco
Costco's
card.
scary though.
No, Costco's
Like
not
the
scary to
amount.
me. I love it. It's like
There's
a
so
playground for me.
much.
But okay, here's the thing. I hate big grocery stores. I love Trader Joe's because my Trader Joe's is small. Like I have a small Trader
Mhm.
Joe's. That's where I go week to week. Costco's for like the big purchases. Or, but not limited to, when I get meat. Because they have really good deals
Mhm.
on like there'll be like a salmon fillet thing, like this
Yeah.
long. Like a whole ass salmon got sliced and they have it in
Yeah.
a fucking dish and they have like garlic butter on it ready. You just fucking pop it in the oven. You get ready. And it's like $5. It's like that's
Yeah.
and it's or they have wagyu beef from
Mhm.
Japan. Like they have
Yeah.
like grade A wagyu beef. Like I have some in my freezer right now and it was like $10 for like 10 packets that are like this big.
Yeah. Costco's great. It's also another place we go is Costco. But
I go to Costco. I
uh,
feel so like
the one place
about
I
Costco.
always dress up though, like always, are like the daily tasks, like shopping. Like shopping, like regular shopping, shoe shopping, or like the regular
The
around
daily
town
tasks.
shopping.
I never go shopping, Alex. I never go shopping.
It's like you go like
Ugh.
okay, well, not daily tasks, but like you go to like the shoe store or like hair, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
not groceries, but like
Grocery
oh,
is
going out
more
like
of a
fast
daily
food.
task for me.
Yeah, like fast food. Like just want like a
Yeah, I
snack.
guess like
But
going out to
then,
get food, that is something that I definitely do quite often, is getting food.
yeah. So like it just kind of depends. Or like during the summer, I tend to do more because my friends like most of us are in college, so we kind of have more free time during the summer. Like going to go get coffee or just like walking around town and like doing random activities, right?
Yeah.
Those I tend to dress up for more, but I would say putting effort into yourself is the best way to like romanticize
Yeah, 100%.
like your
Sometimes just
activity,
getting dressed because
right?
I work from home, so like I don't have any reason to get dressed. Like my daily tasks is wake up. I don't even leave the house sometimes. I just wake up. I sit like if I didn't do anything besides like the
Mhm.
basics of what I need to do, I'd like wake up, I'd sit at my computer for 8 hours, and then I'd eat, I guess, and then I would sleep, and then I would repeat. It's like I need things to break it up. So like I go on bike rides occasionally, like I go on walks. I will go to get food occasionally rather than cooking at
Mhm.
home. I'll, go grocery shopping and make it a thing. I like making regular things a thing, like grocery shopping. I like going to a
It depends
grocery
on
store
my
I
energy
like.
level, because I'm a
Mm.
very sleepy girl.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's also just a matter of like, I'm not doing these things in like high energy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm, I, here's actually part of it. I could not do the things
Mm-hmm.
I do without listening to music
Mm.
because I blast music in my car. If I'm going grocery shopping by myself, I blast music in my car on the way to the grocery store, pumping
Mm-hmm.
me up for this one social interaction I get once a week. And like that's my like time to get energized. Also like yes, you are a sleepy girl. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you took naps a lot when you came to visit. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
You recently figured out why you're a
Yeah.
sleepy girl, vitamin
Yeah.
deficiencies and stuff. But part of my like because I was very sleepy for a long time and I was like, why am I so sleepy? For me, it was I was oversleeping and then I was just like in continuous spiral of like never feeling well rested because I was sleeping for like 13 hours every night and then like taking naps on top of that. Also, my background just got so bright. Sorry about that. Don't don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, well, that made it
Okay,
brighter.
that made it worse. What are you?
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I just gonna have to like hunt over the rest of the
I'm
episode.
gonna be over here now. Okay. So, but yeah, I I don't do much. I also don't
Mhm.
as I said, like I have one friend that's local that I would count like a friend, you know, that's local.
Yeah.
And they're a they're a medical professional.
Hmm.
They just finished med school. They do not have free time. I don't have a lot of free time because I just like my job and I do a lot of it. I don't like I don't leave my house.
Hmm.
So like the daily tasks for me I think are different than the daily tasks for a lot of people.
Yeah. Because see, it's like being an online student, right? Is like I kind of gremlin mode when I'm doing my classes because that's where all of my energy goes. Like I cannot
Mm-hmm.
get ready. I don't have that energy for it. But again, I romanticize doing my classes, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm studying at like a really cool university, right?
You're pretending you're in like a
And
Harvard like library or some shit.
right,
It's like
exactly. Or like Hogwarts, like whatever floats your boat. Um, but those off days, right? I
yeah.
try to pack as much as I can normally, but like during the summer, I don't have school to romanticize. So I tend to be a more sleepy girl. And I used to romanticize sleeping, like, oh, I'm a sleeping beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a Disney princess. My
See,
beauty
I hate
sleep.
wasting
I'm flaky.
time. I feel like I'm wasting time when I'm sleeping.
I
Also,
don't
I don't have
sleep
the
good.
summers off. I work. So like
Yeah.
I'm working all week every week. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't have like a oh there we go. The lighting
Okay.
fixed. Thank God.
It works. Yeah.
Yeah. Um
See, I think it's
so
just
I
like
don't have
as
like a
we
time
like
off.
said, whatever works for like different people.
Yeah, based on like
And
what your
different people
day-to-day
have
life looks
different,
like.
yeah, different kinds of romanticization. Because again, like my boyfriend's how he romanticizes his life is very different. Which side note, how guys romanticize their lives, I didn't realize that they did until I saw some similarities between a lot of guys on how they romanticize it. I'm not gonna go into details, but they do. And I'm like, wow. So it's not just a girl thing.
No, no, there's I mean, I
Oh,
know a
same with
lot
like
of
the
guys who romanticize their
dream
life.
scenarios. Like, like you think of a scenario before you go to sleep.
Yeah. Everyone does that.
Yeah, my boyfriend does that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought it was a me thing.
No. No, so many people do
Yeah.
that. And like romanticizing your life is like definitely not limited to gender or anything like that.
Yeah.
I it's just a difference in you as a person on
What it is. Yeah.
how you want to romanticize your life.
Mhm.
Whether that be, you know, pretending that everyone's in love with you when you're out in public. That
Mhm.
might not work for everyone, you know, like they might want
Yeah.
to be like oh, I'm invisible when I'm in public. That might be someone's romanticization. They don't want to be perceived by people.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine too. Or like it could be as little as just like your job in your head being the job you want it to be rather than the job it is currently. You
Or
know?
finding the happiness in the little things.
Exactly.
Not
That's
the
that
little,
that's the
like,
core of
little things that you
romanticization.
like.
It's just
Yeah.
like finding joy in the
Like,
little
even if you
things.
don't like it inherently, be like, oh, okay, well, I like this aspect of it.
Yeah.
Or, maybe I don't like it, but I can at least enjoy it for what it is,
Yeah. It's a movie. There's ups and
Yeah.
downs. Life's a movie.
Yeah, and there's different, different plots for each
Yeah.
movie. And maybe you're just like in like sequel, like 4, and you're like, okay, this is not what I wanted. We're gonna wait till the 5th one and then see if it gets
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
So
In the wise words of I don't remember who sings this song, but the rest is still unwritten. And your life is you're staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window. Do you know the song?
I never
Unwritten?
know.
Staring at the blank page before you.
Oh,
Open up
yeah.
the dirty window. Feel
I
the
never really
rain on your skin.
I
No,
don't
that's good.
I don't listen to lyrics. I listen to the actual like music behind the lyrics.
I
think it just
listen.
comes
I'm a very lyrical like listen to lyrics person. I think it's because I did singing and songwriting for a little while there. I also cry at music really easily because of that. Because if they say something that's like a metaphor for something really sad, a lot of people are like, "Oh wow, this is like a sick beat," and I'm just like crying because I'm like, "But they said they want to die." It's like
Yeah.
it's like when you listen to the words of Pumped Up Kicks. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, I'm like that with every song.
Yeah. I don't know. I cry at music that you're meant to cry at.
I cry
Like,
it.
the
I cry. I
like,
just
sad
cry.
songs.
I cry a lot.
I used to
Not
cry a
always.
lot.
Not always because of sadness though. I just feel incredibly intensely, and I cry easily. So it's a bad combo. I cry because of excitedness. I cry because of sadness. I cry because of embarrassed. I cry because of joy.
I cry when like I'm talking about something that was really I wouldn't say traumatizing, but borderline. Or I'm angry.
Oh,
Or I'm
yeah.
laughing really hard. Those are like the majority times I cry. When I'm sad, sometimes I just like really like breathe heavy. I'm a heavy breather when I'm sad. And when I'm happy, I don't think I cry. I cry very rarely. It's usually if I'm laughing.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know that it kind of went off the rails a little bit occasionally, but like this was a chill video. This was a chill episode, you know? Like
it was just kind of thoughts. A lot of thoughts.
Yeah. It was romanticize your life at its core, but then there were other side tangents we went on during it, which is fun. Let us know how you guys feel about the more rambly episodes, or if you want it to be more structured.
Like more like structured.
Because I think this is the first episode that like has been really like we just had a topic and we just kind of ran with it. And we didn't have much of a structure to it. Like, most episodes we have some sort of like, oh yeah, we'll know what we talk about in that. Where this one we were just kind of like, let's just spitball it.
Yeah.
So let us know what you guys think about this. Rate us 5 stars if you're listening on a podcasting platform.
Yes.
And subscribe if you're on YouTube. And we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.